So nadis, energy channels. So we know a lot about chakras now. We know auras are energy field, and we know those nadis are what connects the outside world for us to process on the subconscious level. So those can get stuck as well. Those energy channels can get blocked. Now they get blocked, when they get blocked, we have a hard time even if the chakras are open, processing information. So when nadis get blocked, we have that masculine, feminine energy, and it's not related to anything to do with sexual orientation. It has to do with positive, negative energy. So that masculine energy, if we're stuck too much in that, what's called the Pingala Nadi, that masculine energy channel, it creates too much anger, agitation, where we want to fight, and we're rough, right? And we're just, on edge and wanting to punch something. That's how I could put that. If you're feeling angry all the time, or you're agitated all the time, you're just, right? So that means we're too much blocked in that left brain. We're too much, and maybe over analytical, where we're, analyzing everything, and you know the feeling, right? So we're blocked too much, we're stuck too much on that side, and we don't have enough energy flowing in to balance it out on the feminine side. But we can have it to the other extreme. So if we're more stuck in that right brain, and we're more too much in that feminine energy channel, and we don't have enough of that masculine to balance it out, then we get very timid, withdrawn, depressed, shy, and nervous. So if we're too much into that energy channel, that feminine energy, which is called the Ida Nadi, then we have those types of feelings where we're not balanced out between the two of them. So we should be just balanced both ways. We shouldn't be completely extreme, one or the other. So to bring balance in, we have that central energy channel called the Sushumna. And that's what runs our prana, our life force energy, through the chakras. So we get our aura, energy channels are able to, we get a stimulus. We either want to punch it or run away from it. No, we're dealing with it with this level emotional capacity when all that energy is flowing. So we process it correctly, the energy channels bring it in, and we have an appropriate reaction, not an overreaction. We react more logically to the stimulus of what's going on, instead of illogically, where we're either fighting or flighting, right? So to unblock, there's a couple of ways we can unblock energy channels. And the best way is that Nadis Shodhana that we did in that pranayama lesson. So where you breathe in and then out the other side. That's why it's called Nadi Shodhana, because it balances energy channels. So I like to do that every single day before I meditate. I like to practice at least 5 minutes of Nadi Shodhana to clear the mind, balance both of those energies so I feel at one with them, and I can process information more logically of what's happening in my reality. So Nadi Shodhana, so if you want to go back to that lesson and practice that, if you feel one way or another, if you remember that, or practicing balancing yoga poses. So I teach more in the 120 course. Balancing yoga poses are good for proprioception, where our body is in awareness in space, but it also helps balance that Nadi energy, right brain, left brain type of stuff. So when you're balancing on one leg, you're focused more on the one side of the brain, and then you're balancing on the other leg, you're focused more on the other side of the brain. So it connects those two hemispheres together, and they can process information as one, as opposed to two separate, where we're stuck one side versus the other side. Now, when you're balancing and you notice that one side balances a whole lot better than the other, let's say, like me, I noticed this in myself because I've been practicing yoga a long time. I can usually balance on both sides pretty well. But there's some days maybe I, got an argument at home with somebody, or I've just had a crummy day, it still happens, where I come to class and I go to teach a balancing pose and just one side of my body is not cooperating. At least lucky for me, I'm the yoga teacher and I can just say, okay, we're done with balance for the day. But in my mind, I'm going, uh-oh, you know, I'm really letting it get into me on a subconscious level where I'm either agitated, angry about something, or I'm afraid and fearful over something. So it really gives me some insight when I come to those poses. When you get better at yoga and you know how to balance, and then you come to the mat and you're falling over on one side, you're like, uh-oh, I gotta let something go. I gotta do some internal work. So, Nadis in a nutshell, those energy channels. There's so much information on, I have a book about that big just on energy stuff. And there's so much more to learn than that. So that's Nadis and chakras, and we'll look at them in practice this week. So let's see.